Big Joe in the seat tonight, and got Dave Rickert, the mayor, and our special guest, Dave Doster, former Philadelphia Philly and the pride of New Haven, Indiana. Pride of New Haven.
In my own mind.
Yeah, there you go. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Mom and dad.
Nothing wrong with that.
True,
hey,
true.
it's good to have you here tonight, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me in.
So, Dave, I mean, I've done some pre with you. You know, you bring up, you started in 79 Little League.
Yep.
And was it love at first sight right away?
My mom touts that when I was 8 months old, I was holding a baseball bat, sitting on the floor, swinging it. So it started early. But yeah, when I first got to play, I came in the year after T-ball or before T-ball started. So I never got to play T-ball, which
good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
I would not have made it in T-ball. So
you were ready to go.
I was ready to go. So yeah, started East Suburban Little League at Meadowbrook Park, 8 years old, and took off from there.
Who was your first coach?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna ask me a question.
What was your team?
It was Mertz Plumbing and Heating.
Yeah.
Bill Mason was my first coach. Went to school with his kids, so known the family forever. So, but yeah, he was the first one to throw me out there, and jeans and a jersey.
Yeah, that's what we had.
Yeah. Didn't have pants, but I didn't have baseball pants. We had jeans.
Yeah, you know, talking about Little League just in general, I mean, back in those days, just the excitement of Little League and what it produced. I mean, for you, I mean, being that young kid, putting yourself back in that position and just the love of the game, I mean, kind of reflect on where you were at and where you're at now.
I remember just the practices. I used to get so excited for practice because we played in the backyard. I had Frank, my brother above me, is 9 years older. And then I have an older brother that's 12 years older than my sister's 13, 14 years older. So I was the baby. So I pretty much got to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
But
your own childhood.
Exactly. My oldest brother, Merle, played for New Haven High School. We have pictures of him getting ready for his high school games and me like squatting between his legs in a diaper. So I was around it all the time.
Yeah.
And baseball in our neighborhood, from the time school was out, 9 o'clock the next morning, we were in the street playing. We had to use tennis balls because of the windows.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I remember getting the shirt the first time, and I slept in it. I couldn't wait for, we had the parade.
Oh yeah.
Opening day.
We had that conversation last
week.
Yeah.
We talked about, just the excitement of putting on that uniform.
Yeah.
Back of the trucks.
And,
Back of the trucks, hats didn't fit, big old gloves. But yeah, it was just to be able to play in that first game, it was just, this is it. I made it. I mean, I'm 8 years old.
I'm in the show.
I'm in the show, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
So you talk about your older siblings. Was your dad a baseball player? Was it in the blood?
My dad did not play sports.
No sports.
My dad,
you're a 3-sport star.
My parents were older. My mom had me at 42. So my dad actually got drafted in the Korean War as a sophomore in high school.
Sophomore.
Yeah. So he never finished high school.
Wow.
My mom was the athlete. She grew up in Ohio, played volleyball, played softball. I want to say basketball or volleyball. Her high school was a small high school. I want to say they won a state championship or in Ohio. This is way back. But yeah, she was the athlete, and she'd play catch. My dad would play catch with me, but he worked for Norfolk and Southern for 40 years.
Oh man!
And I remember him coming home at night. He was a lineman, so he worked on telephone poles. He'd work all day and come home, and I had one ball. He would throw it to me, and I'd hit it down the street. He'd run it. He'd go get it, come back, throw me again. I'd hit it down the street again. And wow. Once I got to about 10 or 11, he's like, I'm done. He goes, 7, 8. I wouldn't hit it as far, but
right.
Then
Your
I
dad
started
was
hitting.
a lot nicer than I was my kids. I was like, go get it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So he was there for me, but my brothers, obviously my brothers and sisters playing catch and beating me up and throwing the balls at me and stuff like that. Really.
So here's a question that I've been looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting older. You're 12, 13 years old. And there used to be on 21 Alive, Greg Johan. I challenged Greg.
Oh, yeah.
How did you come up with the idea?
So I remember, I want to say we were 13. So East Suburban we had one team. It was Little Caesars, ugly brown and orange uniforms.
Whoa.
No, I mean, at that time, that was not the Northrop colors. These were some bad brown and orange.
Okay.
And we had one team, but he used to have the I Challenge Greg on 21. And I told my mom, I said, I want to do that. And she's like, all right. So you had to write a letter in, challenge him to whatever you want to challenge him. And I wrote him and said, hey, I want to challenge you to home run derby. And I don't know how long it took, but I remember getting a phone call. It was him and said, hey, I accept your challenge. And we set up everything. And he came to, at that time, it was Meadowbrook Senior League Diamond. And we did it right there on the Senior League Diamond. So I had my catcher from my team there. He was catching, and then we threw to each other and had a home run derby. So
how much did you lose by?
I want to say he beat me like 7-5, maybe.
So not bad.
So not bad. No, I hit a few. I mean, at that point, I could hit the ball pretty good still, and I was hitting quite a few homers, in the little league. So, but yeah, he was a pretty good athlete.
What a great story.
Yeah, he was a pretty good. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I will never forget it. And
when you sent me that, I had forgotten all about it.
oh yeah,
But Matt said he was part of it.
Yeah, we did a I Challenge Greg with a croquet game out at North Crest Elementary School, and man, he won that too. So he must have been pretty good.
he did. I mean, he challenged whatever he took it on and did not lose very much.
So yeah, that's good. Well, now you moved into high school. No, you've been 9, 10, 11, 12, right?
Yep.
So you're a ninth grader.
Yeah.
And Coach Bischoff, legendary coach, comes into your class and says, you're starting.
Well, even before that, the tone was set early with Coach Bischoff. So I remember first day of practice, probably in the spring, I was a freshman, I'm hitting off the tee, had my hat on backwards.
Ooh, yeah.
He come up. I will never forget the story. He comes up to me, and I told both my son. Well, Easton didn't play, but my oldest did. I said, "Do not wear your hat backwards in practice." I had my hat on backwards. He walks up. He's like, "Are you a catcher?" I'm like, "No, why?" And I can't say what he said. He goes, "Please turn your hat around." But that's not how he said it. I never wore my hat backwards again. So
talk about just with Bish. I mean, the influence he had on you. I mean, me as a fellow coach.
Yeah.
He would call me a lot and just talk about baseball, or help me with kids getting recruited, and just his love for not only baseball but for the New Haven program.
Yeah, it's still going.
And it's still going, and like I said, he was a guy that when you're playing for him, I always told my oldest son Owen, I said, don't listen to how he's telling you. Listen to the message of what he's trying to tell you.
Absolutely.
Because the way he's going to tell you, you're not going to like it. I didn't like it. He got on me. He benched me one summer because I missed a summer league game. He made me come. I sat both games because back in the summer league, we'd play other schools.
Right.
You'd play a doubleheader.
Maybe
5 or 7 innings. Yeah. And I was playing with Hamrick Real Estate. We played in a tournament in Cincinnati. I got back like 2 a.m. We were playing that next evening, and I was just too tired. I didn't want to go, and I slept. And he called me and said, "Make sure you're at the next game."
Yeah, the beauty of those summer instructional leagues, we talk all the time about trying to find a way to bring that back. Obviously,
we need it back.
But
baseball here
developed not only your team but the friendships that you carried on, with the program to make it a better baseball situation for everybody. But again, Bish and the way he just his program has been something that's just been consistent year in, year out.
Yeah.
And I know that right now there's some tough times with him, but that guy he shows up at the ballpark every day, same attitude, same demeanor, and I'm going to get out.
He loves it. He loves it. We actually
go through a heart attack and right back out.
Exactly. We actually had Kyle at our house the other night. He's doing some washing the houses for us, and we asked him, "Is he going to retire yet?" And he's like, "He was supposed to retire 6 years ago."
Yeah.
He goes, that's what he said. He goes, he loves going to the field. He goes, we can't, when he retires, he's not going to stop coming to the field.
Right.
He'll be out there raking and mowing and doing whatever because that's all he knows.
Yeah.
But that's what
what he loves.
That's what he loves to do. But yeah, back to the story. So yeah, freshman year, I start JV. I played probably 6 or 10 games on JV. I'm taking a test in history or a health class, and I'm taking my test, concentrating really hard, and I just see somebody standing next to me. And I kind of turned my head, and he's like, "You're starting shortstop tonight." And he walked and left.
Just walked in.
Didn't finish the test. Handed my test, and it was the last period of the day. So I go out, call my mom and dad, say, "Hey, I'm starting varsity," and never left the starting lineup.
So, I mean, from when he tells you, what's going through your mind?
Oh, crap. Senior Layton team. ton of seniors.
Yeah.
So I'm not a real popular guy when I get there.
They're not happy with you.
No, and I get it. I there were a few that it took a few games, but I started, I think, first hitter of the game, guy hits the ball up the middle. I come across, sweep it up, throw the guy out, and then after that it was
They accepted
history. Yeah. No, it took a few more games, but
Yeah.
some of them did right
Right.
away. So
Right.
What does New Haven mean to you?
We were talking earlier, it's family. It's where I was born and raised. My brothers and sisters are Bulldogs.
You're repping the clothes right
Yeah.
now.
Anytime I can get a chance. It's community. My wife's a realtor. She does a lot of her business in New Haven, Fort Wayne area, but a lot of New Haven. Her brother, all of our kids are Bulldogs, and we're Bulldogs for life. And things have changed. It's been different from when I was there to now. But the school's improved. We've got a new field house and new turf for the football field.
That
and
basketball gym is just
yeah,
a palace.
it's crazy.
It's beautiful.
And with wrestling, we get to host. We hosted the conference tournament this year. We have sectionals. We have a couple tournaments throughout the year. And with the field house, just for Jimmy, our wrestling coach, he can host tournaments through the summer that are fundraisers for us.
Right.
No, he has.
Which people don't know.
Yeah.
Dave's son is top state wrestler, so Dave's turns his attention to wrestling.
Oh yeah, a lot more. Not as, I would say, way more stressful than when I played. But yeah, I mean, both my boys, Owen finished fifth his senior year, and Easton finished fifth this year as a sophomore. Crazily at the same weight, 132, and then
That's a big difference, senior to a sophomore.
exactly,
Right.
So and then Ava, my daughter, plays volleyball at University of Findlay, so we were in that gym a lot when she was playing volleyball. She was a 4-year starter, all through New Haven. So yeah, we spent a lot of time in that gym, and it's really a nice gym.
One more question for you. Dave hit on that about the New Haven ties and all that. When you being in that community and being the leader that you are, what does that mean to you? I mean, do you feel that way, like you're a leader in the community, or?
There goes Dave Doster.
Yeah. I mean, because people look up to you.
Yeah,
And the responsibilities of being a Bulldog.
it is true. We'd like to get out more than we do. As much as we're a mile and a half from the high school, and I try to get out to the Friday football games. I love the administration there, the teachers that my kids have had, and the coaches that are still
The
there.
AD there.
Yeah,
What's his name again?
who's that?
The AD.
Andy Wagner.
Yeah.
Andy
He's
Wagner.
a good guy.
He's a good dude. He's out there trying. He's at all the events. But I lived all across the country. I lived in Japan. I lived in Mexico and all over the place. And we chose to come back to New Haven, Indiana.
That's awesome.
To live. Yeah, my parents were still alive at the time, and
That makes a difference.
my wife's mother lived down the street from us, and she still does, and her stepdad. But it's just like you said, it's nice going out and people know who you are.
Right.
I mean, you're in others. If I'm not playing in another city, people don't know who I am. But
Right.
and maybe it's an ego thing, but I
you're just
love being home.
You're average Joe there.
Yeah, I love being
But
home.
The
I love
thing is, you give back to the community.
yeah, we're doing everything we can, and helping where we can, and we pumped a lot of stuff into the wrestling program and the volleyball program, and I wish I could do more for the baseball, but we're just so darn busy. And Bish is, again, I'd do anything for him, and he does a great job and continues to do that.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll be right back here on the 260 live from Spieth Field House.